95 million years ago, dinosaur was roaming around on our planet. This moment in time is frozen here on a small place in Australia. It's called Lark Quarry. It's near to Winton. Winton is a small town in the outback of Queensland, has a lot of things to offer.
Winton is the outback capital for dinos, and also you can get opals. They're brought and sold there, traded, and also it's the gateway to the Porcupine Gorge.
Welcome to our channel Caravan the World.
I am Rose.
And I am Carsten. We used to work in Saudi Arabia for long years, and there we have met. Now we have quit our jobs and going traveling full time. We traveled over the last 6 months New Zealand, and from there we have shipped our car and caravan over to Australia and doing the big lap. After finishing Australia, we ship everything over to Asia and traveling with the car and caravan from Asia to Europe, and then the next shipment to the US. We would really appreciate if you consider to subscribe
to our YouTube channel. It would mean a lot to us, and we really appreciate your support. Thank you, Rose and
Carsten. We are in Jump Up. That's the place called here, the Dinosauria Museum. And first of all, I have to clarify something. I was actually expecting that they're bringing us so that we can see places where the fossils are still in the ground and they're digging it out. But that's not like that. They're having here a laboratory where they are cleaning the bones, and they're having the museum where they have some exhibition about dinosaurs, and the bones or fossils they are actually found on the farmland, which is somewhere there. So the farmer is finding it and informing the museum, and then they will bring it up if it is worth to bring up. This is how they're normally discovering that and resurfing that. They have prepared that. That's a sauria bone, a dinosaurier bone. The look behind the curtains. It's a petrified tree, cut it in pieces. And there's some people working. So as everyone is gone, I can explain here a little bit. These are encasing, so when they find some bones here on the ground, they're putting an encasing around and keeping them for later to start with removing all the soil and the sand around. It can take up to years.
Here we see a hip bone of a cow compared to the hip bone of a dinosaur. So the size comparison is amazing. And then there's all the volunteers working.
Are hollow bones going to survive being stepped on? No. So it's amazing that we've got a whopping 11% of butch. If this was about 2 months ago, I'll be telling you butch is the most complete meat-eating dinosaur, the most complete pterosaur in Australia. Butch is currently the second most complete pterosaur in Australia. There is one in Richmond that is 22% complete rather than 11, which really goes to show how incomplete these pterosaurs typically are. But we've got about half of one of Butch's wings, the front half of the skull, a few teeth as well. That half of the wing is really useful. It tells us Butch had a wingspan of about 4 meters. Can anyone think of a bird larger than 4 meters wingspan nowadays? Trick question, you can't, there aren't any. 4 meters was pretty regular for pterosaurs, however. They got up to about 11 meters in wingspan, which is a Cessna with a brain flying at you. They were crazy creatures. But we've also got the front half of the skull. That front half of the skull has a whole bunch of sharp, conical, pointy teeth. Not good for slicing, good for stabbing. Can anyone think of what Butch would have been eating?
Crocodiles?
Not crocodiles. You would probably want to slice through crocodile armor or crush it. Not dinosaur. Oh, there we go. Fish. Butch was a fish eater. Sharp teeth and stab into fish and catch them a bit more effectively. You don't really want to slice through a fish because, I mean, they're pretty easy to slice through in the first place. So you can swallow them whole. Butch would have been able to catch these fish on the wing without landing and risking an injury. Because if you risk an injury when you are a flying dinosaur or a flying creature, well, that's basically a death sentence. So don't want to risk it.
So if you want, you can volunteer for that.
These people, all volunteers, they've all trained up in our Prepper Dino course, and you are welcome to go on that too. I'll hand around some flyers later on. But we teach you how to get the rock away from the bone, how to use the tools, how to identify bone, and people come up here for months at a time. Some people, 3 months here, 9 months back at home. But it's a very common activity for retirees to do. Now, we've got some tools that we use. I'll take you down this way a tiny bit and show you one of them. This here is a micro jack. It's got a very fine tungsten tip right there. Goes back and forth pretty quickly like a jackhammer. And well, that allows us to remove single grains of sand from the specimen at a time, taking away thin layers of the substrate at a time until we get down to the bone surface.
So we are in the lab and volunteers working here to prepare the saurier bones, to remove the sand and the soil which is around with some tools, and everyone can do that. And someone there is scanning in a big bone or bone fragment. It's very interesting.
When you're leaving the fossil preparation area, there is another display with more fossils to look at, so keep some time for that. Coral, shells, snails. Yeah. Oh, even a meteorite. Cool. There, honey.
Yeah.
And this is the canyon that we won't be going to. Is that an egg?
No, it's called Saturnian null.
Different types of rocks. Oh. And different types of beetles. Oh, that looks like that golden orb spider. Looks like the one that was on your chair today. Oh, and butterflies as well, so lots to see. We're here in the main street of Winton. There's some hotels and most of everything. There's some opal shops and the Waltzing Matilda Centre. And now we're going into Opal Gifts, Winton's favourite opal shop. So here you can find your own opal and buy it just by putting a bit of water. That's cool, isn't it?
Yep.
I think there's some peepers in there.
Of course, yeah. We are on a mission, checking out opal. It's called the Opal Capital. So, and we're checking now out some shops here in Winton, buying opal or checking out opal.
So you said these are from Opal Turn, and these lighter ones are from South Australia. Cooper Pedy, okay.
Do you like me?
And here we have the earrings.
You can tell they're not.
Oh no.
They're like, just hurry up. Good.
What do you reckon of that one?
Not even going to take any interest in that.
Shocking.
I like this one, the big one.
I think it's hard to pick up the colours here. They're so pretty. And they have the Waltzing Matilda Centre, and there's a visitor information. Good morning. We are off to the Dinosaur Stampede National Monument. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and we've got to drive 110 k's, and more than half of that is on gravel. So we're on our way. Oh, a few bumps already. Hey beautiful, you got your little babies there. Oh, this 1.5 kilometre stretch of road has a no parking sign up, and that is because it is an emergency airstrip. We are 8 kilometres before the turn off to the Lark Quarry Dinosaur Stampede, and it looks like they've got their own airstrip down here. Someone took the quick way in. More of the drive than we expected was actually on sealed roads. It said 63 kilometres were unsealed, but there's bits of seal throughout that section, and the last bit in the Lark Quarry Conservation Park is all sealed, although that's only 5 kilometres. And ahead you see the centre.
Welcome to the Lark Quarry Dinosauria Truckways. I would say they made it nice here, yeah? Oh, they had even an ice age in Australia. The dinosaurs wouldn't be extinguished, then we would be dinosaurs.
Maybe not with GoPros.
Absolutely any way you'd like. Something I really
the
like
big ones?
about that here things out. If at any point in time you can't see this, you're having difficulty, I also have a nice shiny green dot. And if at any point in time you guys can't see these, here we go. Let's get the mid one. I have another one. Amazing. I would not be using all three at the same time.
That's a big one. And here's another one.
I'm going to start off with
Based on the scientific research undertaken by Velborn and Wade, the footprints at Lark Quarry are believed to have been made by several animals and preserved over a relatively short period of time. The earliest footprints at the site were made by large ornithopods that visited and left well before the arrival of any other dinosaurs. Later, a large ornithopod, which stood around 1.65 meters tall at the hips, left 7 footprints as it ran in an almost straight line east-northeast. The final event recorded at Lark Quarry was the Stampede. Over 100 small dinosaurs left 3,300 footprints at the site.
Was very interesting.
Yeah.
Good, but let us go back.
Yeah, let's do it quick.
Here on the walkway they're having here some information about the time schedule. Let us see. When we came in we had to look already for that, but I like to have a closer look. It is okay. It's going to the entrance younger. 65 million in years. 50 million years rainforest. 20 million. Okay, let us see what was happened 20 million years ago. Modern wildlife ancestors. Modern. Soon yeah. 8 million years ago. I mean, sounds like ice ages came back.
Central Australia, cool and dry. Giant thunderbirds, thylacines, and cleaver-headed crocodiles hunt in the expanding eucalypt forest.
Now,
50,000 Europeans in agriculture alter the Australian landscape.